What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I felt like this was the right video to do. We've never really covered the ultimate guide of blue fragrances. I'm kind of known as the blue fragrance guy, and in this video we're covering 25. So this is gonna be a long one. We're gonna try to get through it as quickly as we can. I need a good pick-me-up for some caffeine. Blue Raspberry Sour Patch Kids from Ghost. What a coincidence. Ghost. Let's get into it. Starting with Versace Dylan Blue. You kind of can't have a ultimate blue fragrance guide without an ultimate blue fragrance, right? So a lot of grapefruit citrus up top. It's very smoky yet aquatic, has the shower gel feel, a little bit of spices and soft woods. There's a lot going on here. This is one that's easy to go nose blind to. You'll think it's on the weaker side when really it's very strong coming off of your skin. Known compliment getter. Not gonna get a compliment every time you wear it from every person you walk by, but the chances are pretty high with this one. Versatility's on the higher side. This is one that's great to wear year round. One that's definitely worth trying. It's Versace Dylan Blue. From Ormonde Jayne, we have Montabaco Verano, kind of the big boys blue fragrance in many ways. There's leather, there's tobacco, ISO-y super, beautiful grapefruit note at the top. Performance is ridiculous on this one. This is a great smelling, wonderful, more mature style blue fragrance. Now when I say mature, it doesn't smell old man. It just has a little bit more of a serious edge to it while still having that casual appeal at the same time. There's some complexity here. It still offers the same amount of versatility as you would expect with most blue fragrances, just on a higher scale of quality, even though there's some modern synthetics such as ISO-y Super in here. Ormonde Jayne makes some fantastic fragrances. I have limited experience with the brand, only have a few from them. But this is definitely my favorite for its versatility. The color fits because it is very blue in its design and composition and makeup. Just a really, really strong performer. One that's worth checking out. Definitely get a sample and try this one. It's Ormonde Jayne, Montabaco Verano. So you'll notice that I've only picked one fragrance from each house. There's no multiples of one line. There's no multiples from different houses. So when it comes to the Polo Blue line from Ralph Lauren, I had to pick my what I believe is the ultimate. And I believe Polo Bleu Parfum to be just that. I think this is the best route to go. I do love the refined, smooth edge that this fragrance has, while still maintaining a lot of the fresh greens. Even has a little bit of that watery cucumber smell that the original is known for. Though I don't recall it being in the notes, you definitely get some of that original Polo Bleu Eau de Toilette DNA. The performance is on the longer lasting side without being a really loud fragrance. Like I said, this is much more smooth and refined, kind of like in some ways, the Refined Gentleman's Blue fragrance, as a few of these in this video are. Not every blue fragrance is just a t-shirt fragrance. Some of these are better suited to dress up a little bit. And I would consider Polo Bleu Parfum to be one of those. If you haven't gotten your nose on this yet, you really should. One of the better releases from 2022, Ralph Lauren's Polo Bleu Parfum. One of the most enjoyable watermelon ginger wood combos I have ever gotten my nose on. This is another independent niche brand in this video. Very blue fragrance at its core. This is from MMASI. This is called Into Me. This is for men. And like I said, there's other citruses up here at the top, but the watermelon note, that is the money maker. And like I said, I get a lot of this crisp and fresh spicy ginger note, more on the crisp side than creamy, with a soft woody tone. There's other freshness and watery appeal to this, but it really just enhances and intensifies that watermelon note. High quality stuff, great long lasting fragrance without being too loud. Kind of average reach as far as projection with your average sillage that's going to be left behind with these fresh, what you would expect from fresher fragrances, but this one will have some pretty good staying power because of the quality of the oils. Love this composition. It's a great everyday versatile wear. Definitely worth trying, especially if you want to support a smaller indie niche brand that's doing great work. This is from MMASI. This is called Into Me. This is for men. Next is from one of my favorite affordable Middle Eastern houses. I gave this one a pretty high rating in my first impressions, and I stand by it. This is kind of a Franken fragrance in many ways as far as blues are concerned. This is from Afnan. This is called 9 a.m. Dive. So I do get a little bit of Bleu de Chanel out of this. I get a little bit of YSL out of this. I've heard Afternoon Swim without the musk from Louis Vuitton, which I have never tried personally. This one again has a little bit of this crisp ginger smell, woods. It's warm and ambery. I believe there's a smoky nuance to this one as well. It just smells fan-frickin-tastic. Performance is slightly above average in longevity, with average arm's reach type of stuff in projection. But this is one you can find for a very good price. It's not super cheap and synthetic smelling, but you can find it for around 30 bucks at the recording of this. I'm gonna try to have links to literally all of these fragrances down below, so the description box is gonna be a lot of stuff. So if you're interested in picking any of these up, there's going to be links down below. But this is one I encourage you to try. I was very excited to get this one when it got announced. Got a bottle, and I think it's going to be great for this transitional period into spring, and especially going into summer and early fall, especially if you're in warmer climates, higher humidity like the southern states, for example. You'll really appreciate a fresh blue fragrance like this with some staying power. It's Afnan 9 AM Dive. This next one is more on the unique side when it comes to fresh blue fragrances. Great everyday wear. It's making its rounds at the recording of this in the community, on social media. It's a solid fragrance. I wish they had samples, so a lot of the people that are more skeptical and think that people on social media are just saying it because they got paid or they're getting free bottles, because that's not the case. This is actually a fantastic fragrance. It's Blu Atlas Atlantis. Now, are you niche snobs going to enjoy this? Hell no, you're going to think it's garbage. But people that appreciate a great, versatile, everyday fresh fragrance and care to smell good around others are going to appreciate this one. It's all about this peach and apricot combo that typically would be a more feminine composition, especially with iris and violet in the heart like this one has. Not so much. Fresh and fruity, more so than it is fruity and sweet. Like, it's not heavily sweet. Peach and apricot sound like some pretty sweet notes, right? There's a light sweetness, very fresh, clean and musky, and the florals here offer a little bit of a soapy, soft, powdery tone, a little bit of woods in the backdrop, but it's mainly about this clean musk. Pretty long lasting, not a really loud fragrance. I get about 8 hours on my skin in longevity. This is definitely one that's worth trying if you're not interested in jumping on a bottle for $100. I'm not sure who's selling decants online. Just search in Google, but we'll have a link to Blu Atlas down below. At the recording of this, they don't have any samples available, and that's unfortunate. They should definitely do that to help with some of the skepticism, because this one's actually really, really good. My wife's a big fan of this one, and I had to include it. This is from Blu Atlas. This is called Atlantis. Next is from one of the better, I would consider mid-level niche brands, especially from discounters. You can get them in the sub $200 price point. This is probably their best fresh fragrance from the House of Parfums de Marly. This is Sedley. This is extremely popular, high compliment factor, huge level of versatility. This stuff's got a lot going on here. There's mint, there's citrus. It's got a fougere-ish herbal green appeal with some woods and even a little touch of ambroxan for some added freshness and staying power. This one, God, it smells so good. Always have been a big fan of this one. This is definitely one that is a must-try from the House of Parfums de Marly. Of all their fresh fragrances, this is probably the best smelling one. And I have many of them. I have Galloway, I have Greenlee, I have Percival, and so on and so on. But if I had to just pick one, it's definitely this one. It's a very blue fragrance in its build and makeup, not just from the color of the bottle. It's very versatile. It's very easy to like. It dresses up, it dresses down. You can wear this one year-round. Signature scent-worthy type of stuff, which at its core is the essence of the modern-day blue fragrance. And this is definitely that on a higher quality scale, I guess you could say, because it's Parfums de Marly. This is Sedley. I've had a decant of this in the past. I'm glad to finally have a full bottle. This is my favorite version of Yves Saint Laurent's Y DNA. This is the Le Parfum. Why Le Parfum? So some are going to agree with me. Some are going to say, I love the EDP the most. And that's all fine and dandy. Everybody's got their favorites, but I went with what I believe is the ultimate from each line, because here you get a lot of the freshness and the aldehydes, the crisp apple. It even has a little bit of an orangey smell, the way the aldehydes, apple, ginger, and grapefruit combo at the top kind of work. I think it's because it's so full of aldehydes. Very, very fizzy and effervescent top note. So you get all of that brightness from the eau de toilette. You get some of that sweetness and staying power of the eau de parfum. And it actually is very smooth and refined comparatively to the rest of the line. It's the best smelling version to me. It's not the absolute loudest one, but it does have staying power. This is a solid 9 to 10 hour fragrance on my skin in my experience. And I would consider this, as far as projection, falling somewhere in between the eau de toilette and the eau de parfum. Yes, I have tried I do have a decant of YEDP Intense. While I do think that is a nice release, I think this is the highlight of the line and definitely the one that is worthy of your time to get your nose on. If you're just going to check out one Yves Saint Laurent Y fragrance, let it be Y Le Parfum. Probably the king of the blue fragrances, at least in my opinion it is. We're talking about Bleu de Chanel Parfum. Now, a lot of people will pick the Eau de Parfum. Some people swear by the Eau de Toilette. Let's just call it Bleu de Chanel's DNA. For me, it's the Parfum. It's always been the Parfum. Zesty lemon at the top, a lot of soft and warm woods, cashmere, isoe super, cedar, sandalwood, just this amalgamation of warm yet soft woods, very smooth, polished, a great blue fragrance to wear with a suit. If you're that guy that still wants that versatility and mass appeal and you wear a suit every day, the Business Professional's blue fragrance is kind of what I've dubbed it. This is the one that you're going to want to check out. Definitely on the pricey side as far as blue fragrances go, but there's a reason it's the king of the blue fragrances in my opinion, because it's arguably the most well-rounded, the most refined, and the best smelling. Again, my opinion, you may agree, you may not, but you really should try it if you haven't yet. Again, it's Bleu de Chanel Parfum. From another niche house, this one is fantastic. Light spritz from the atomizer because the sillage is pretty immense here. You're going to get citruses, fruits, a lot of bright mintiness, this beautiful mint leaf smell. This is from Sora, Dora. This is called Gladiator. I'm a big fan of this one. You will get a little bit of a relation to the Aventus DNA, but I would say maybe 50 or 60% because this is so much fresher, so much more mint. It doesn't have all of the florals, any of the smokiness. It's not overly musky, though there's a nice musky tone with this soft woody backbone that really adds kind of some staying power, some depth, some body overall, but it's not a overtly woody fragrance. Like, it's a light woody tone. This is some good stuff. Oh, big fan. Believable mint leaf smell. Performance is great. This is a pure parfum. You don't need a lot of sprays. I do 4 to 5 when I wear this one, and it leaves a trail that lingers. This one's captive. This is very easy to like, and this will draw people in. Definitely get a sample or try the House Discovery set. There's a lot of really complex and much more interesting fragrances. This is kind of the safe blue fragrance of the bunch from the house, but you know me, I love blue fragrances, and this is a blue fragrance video, so we had to have this one in here because it's so damn good. That is Sora Dora Gladiator. Of all the blue fragrances available from Mercedes-Benz, I picked one that you may not be expecting. It is Mercedes-Benz Club Blue. Yes, I picked this over Mercedes-Benz Cologne, Mercedes-Benz Man Blue, Mercedes-Benz Club Fresh. You name it, this one's the one for me. Beautiful kind of frosted orange, bright lavender, soft woods. I love this one. This is super underrated from Mercedes-Benz. Those of you that have been following the channel for a while, you know I'm a fan of the Mercedes-Benz line, the brand as a whole, the car company, and the fragrances, the apparel, everything about it. I love Mercedes-Benz. I worked for the brand for years, and this is my favorite blue fragrance in the line. And I have a variety from them. I have multiple fragrances from multiple lines, and if I'm looking for the one that makes me happy as far as a fresh blue smell, that blue vibe, that versatility, that ease of use, ease of like, ease of wear, it's this one 10 times out of 10 for me. Not that easy to find anymore. When I grabbed this one about a year ago at the recording of this, it was easy to find all over eBay from discounters. I paid $35, $36 for this. Haven't been seeing it pop up as much. I don't know if it's still readily available, but if you can find this one for a decent price, look, it's not the most complex and deep fragrance in the world. What blue fragrance really is all that deep and complex, but it is super easy to like, and if you like fresh lavender fragrances with a bright citrus, you'll probably really enjoy this one. This is Mercedes-Benz Club Blue. Now, admittedly, I think the Parfum Pour Homme version is superior, but it's also a lot more expensive for less fragrance. So the no-brainer here, because this is so easy to like and a bit more accessible than its pure Parfum version, is Raja Parfum's Elysium Parfum Cologne. You know, some people will complain about performance, and look, it comes down to skin chemistry, anosmia. There's a lot of things that play a factor. I actually get slightly above average performance. I get 6-7 hours of longevity on my skin. It's a compliment magnet. This is one of the best smelling fresh blues out there. Citrus, fruits, metallic, herbs, woods. There's a lot going on here. A little bit of fresh spice. I really dig this one. My wife is a huge fan of this. This is extremely polarizing. Some people swear by this fragrance. Some people want the clones. And I can assure you, you don't get the same magic and the exact same wearing experience from the clone that you do in the original. I would encourage you to get a sample, try this, and have the olfactive experience. Wear it. Don't just do a test spray where you're sniffing your hand all day. Wear it, spray it around, walk around, go on about your day, go to work, go to dinner, whatever, and see if the magic happens for you. I can't guarantee you're going to get the magic and have that experience, but a lot of people have. And this is a special fragrance in my opinion. Sure, you can get a clone and have something close as far as the experience and honestly better performance. You can get that beast that has a similar profile, but as far as the quality and like I said, that just captivating magic that Elysium provides, you're going to want to get the original. Again, that's Raja Parfum's Elysium Parfum Cologne. This next one's a pretty new fragrance. It's become my favorite Coach fragrance. Easily. It kind of smells like Dolce & Gabbana K's DNA, just superior. There's a lot of pepper here. We're talking about Coach Open Road. I have immediately become a huge fan of this one. I know it's underwhelming for some, but as far as just a easy grab, aromatic, spicy fragrance, this is one of the better designer releases in a while that encompasses just aromatics and spice. There's clary sage, there's lavender, and there's a lot of it, with plenty of the Sichuan pepper that traditionally its characteristic is to be a fleeting spice. It hits, it hangs out for a moment, then it fleets and goes away. Here, I get the pepper pretty much the entire life of the fragrance with a woody backdrop and a musky tone. It's not super complex. There's a little bit of citrus freshness at the top, nothing super distinctive. It's all about the aromatics and the spices for me with this one. This is a gorgeous fragrance that's already pretty cheap from discounters. I'm not sure, I didn't check before I started recording, if Kingdom Fragrance has this back in stock. I will have it linked below. That is where this bottle came from for like 48 bucks, and this is a pretty recent release. This came out within the last few months at the recording of this, so it's already pretty cheap, sub $50 range, which I consider in the cheapy price bracket. You're going to want to at least get out there and try this. If you have a Coach store, Coach factory outlet, whatever, where they sell Coach fragrances somewhere, they'll probably have a tester. Get out, try this one on your skin. You're probably going to like it. I can't guarantee you'll like it, but if anything I said kind of suits your taste, you'll like Coach Open Road. Now, this is a recent acquisition that is just built for the seasons. It does fine in the cold, but it shines 3 seasons, spring, summer, fall. This has citruses, this has fruits, this has a little bit of ginger. There's a gorgeous incense smoky nuance and a warm amber backdrop to Mancera's Acqua Wood. The color of the bottle's fitting. This is indeed a blue fragrance from Mancera, and one that I was intrigued the moment it got announced within, 2 years ago or whatever, when it first got announced, and then it came out and I saw the no breakdown. I was like, ooh, I'm going to need to try that one day. Ended up blind buying it a few months ago at the recording of this. Fell in love. Instant love at first sniff for me. And it has that Mancera staying power and lingering sillage. If you spray this one on the moderate to heavy side, it's a loud fragrance. As are most Montal and Mancera fragrances, this one's special. I really, really enjoy this one. Super underappreciated. You don't see anybody talk about this one. This is worth getting your nose on. And you can get it for a decent price. This is a tester. It came in a white tester box. Has the magnetic cap and everything. I paid 70 some odd dollars from perfumeonline.ca, which I will have linked below. This is absolutely worth checking out. If you're a fan of the house and you like blue fragrances, because if you made it this far in this blue fragrance video, you like blue fragrances, you should really get your nose on this one. It's Mancera Acqua Wood. There's a few Davidoff Cool Water flankers that could have went here, but for me, my favorite version of Cool Water, the most smooth and polished, the best smelling, the right performance for me where it's long lasting but it's not too loud, is definitely Davidoff Cool Water Parfum. Look, you want loud, you can go with Cool Water Intense. It's super strong. Bubblegummy, coconut, amber type of smell. Here you get this soft lemon, bright pink pepper smell, this sweet spice, and this earthy, smoky vetiver, and a little bit of an ambroxan smell that's not listed. They don't list the ambroxan, but damn, that's what I'll say about this one. Damn. Like, thank Ron Simmons, Farouk in the WWE. Damn! Yes, that's how I feel about this fragrance. It's that good to me. Not everybody will agree, but it's my favorite version of Cool Water. Not a strong tie-in to the original Eau de Toilette's DNA, but it definitely smells like it can go in the line. It doesn't smell like a Parfum version of Cool Water to me. It does smell more like its own type of fragrance. Super versatile, every day. Doesn't have the old man smell that Cool Water gets dubbed for. Does not have the crazy youthful playfulness of the Intense. Kind of falls somewhere in between with the modern gentleman that likes an easygoing, easy to like fragrance that has a little bit of a serious edge to it to dress up a little bit better than the rest. That's who this is for. Davidoff Cool Water Parfum. Like I said. The most versatile and easy to wear fragrance from Happyland. There's like 30 fragrances from the house now. EJ Wells does fantastic work perfuming these fragrances. And for me, Happyland Shameless is still my favorite from the house because it's just so easy to wear. It's so versatile. You get a little bit of black currant. You get some orange at the top. Then it starts to settle into this soapy lavender, creamy sweet vanilla, a lot of ambergris that gives it this marine, almost saltwater-like appeal to it. Man, a little touch of Aventus at the top with a little bit of like Bulgari's Acqua Amara meets a little bit of Aqua Atlantique. Like you get little nuances from these different fragrances, and performance is fantastic as you would expect with Happyland. I don't remember the exact oil concentration, but I know it is beyond 30%, so the staying power is there. You're looking at 10 to 12 hours easily, if not more, with everything from Happyland, including this. This is one of the freshest, if not the freshest fragrance from the house. Even though the label is orange, this is indeed a blue fragrance. This is the blue fragrance from Happyland, and it's still my favorite. It's one that I encourage you to get a sample, get a 30 ml, get the 50 ml, whatever. But try this fragrance. This is an indie brand that has been doing great work for several years now, and this is the most versatile, mass appealing of the bunch. It's Happyland Studio, Shameless. Can't have this kind of video without a version of Acqua di Gio, right? Giorgio Armani's Acqua di Gio, timeless classic, one of the greatest fragrances of all time. Spawned a bunch of fantastic versions and flankers and more modern takes on the DNA, and probably none more popular at this point than Acqua di Gio's Profondo. So with Profondo, this is much more oceanic and less green than the original. The original had a lot of green aspects to it, while still having a little bit of this aquatic vibe. This is all about the aquatic vibe. It has this aquazone note, this synthetic note that Alberto Marias made to just intensify that blue marine saltwater feel. It already had that fantasy sea notes note, this aquatic synthetic that has been made, so it's very, very saltwater by the beach vibes, but you get plenty of performance here. This is another one, compliment magnet. This will draw people in. It's easy going. You can wear this one year round. It is on the synthetic side. It does have more of a chemical smell to it. It does not smell natural at all, but out in the air it smells awesome. This is my main recommendation from this line. Do I think it's the absolute best to my nose personally? No, I think Profumo's still the best one, but when it comes to versatility and just being a blue at its core, when it comes to the definition of what people think of when they think blue fragrance, fresh, mass appealing, aquatic with performance, that is the MO, the design and makeup, and the purpose of Giorgio Armani's Acqua di Gio Profondo. For those of you watching this that have made it this far in the video, some of you are wondering where this fragrance has been, and don't worry. Of course, Salvatore Ferragamo Acqua Essenziale Blue was going to be in an ultimate blue fragrance guide. Come on now. Of course this is here. Now this isn't for everyone, but this is the blue fragrance most synonymous with me, because it's one of my favorites. I've recommended this countless times over the years. I have multiple bottles of it. You get some citrus. It's got a soft, powdery lavender tonka bean combo. It's aromatic without being too soapy. But if you don't like soft, powdery tones to fragrances, you won't like this. Now, if you do like stuff like that mixed with some other elements, the cypriol oil provides this earthy green tone. There is some woods here. I believe it's a cedar wood note, if I remember correctly. Even has a little bit of an ambroxan smell, but not heavily. I wouldn't call this a big-time shower gel type of scent profile. This is more about light, fresh spice, freshness, aromatics, which leads to a little bit of a soapy feel, and a powdery sweetness with an earthy green and woody tone. That's pretty much the entirety of this scent profile. I get above average performance. It's not a beast, but it is 8 to 9 hours on my skin, always has been, so you can safely call it 8 to 10 hours is what I've always gotten from this one. Projections on the moderate to slightly moderate heavy side, beyond arm's reach type of stuff, for about 2 hours. If you spray this one a little heavier, can be a bit cloying because there is a decent amount of tonka bean and lavender here, so you got to keep that in mind. Don't overspray this one, you can choke yourself out, but this is one of my all-time favorites. Of course, this had to be in the video. This is Salvatore Ferragamo Acqua Essenziale Bleu. I still think this is the ultimate version of this fragrance. There's been a ton of summertime flankers that are awesome, especially in the last few years. Forever's awesome, got a ton of hype. And then Italian Love, my favorite summer release flanker in this line in a long time. We're talking about Dolce & Gabbana's light blue line. But for me, until further notice, Oh Intense is still the king of the mountain. It is the intensified version of the original. Now, I do think none of them smell better than Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue, the original flanker to Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme. But if you want the magnetic, charismatic appeal of that fragrance with some intensified performance, more of a saltwater accord, this is a much more salty fragrance, strong sillage, much longer lasting, just as much of a compliment magnet, if not more, than the original Light Blue. This is the one. This is still the one. Now, some people don't have that experience, but a lot of people do. This is extremely popular for good reason. Everything I just said has been my personal experience, and a lot of friends that I have that have this fragrance, that has been their experience as well. It's not going to be everybody's experience. So if you can get your nose on this one, you can go somewhere at a department store, a Macy's, a Dillard's, whatever, and they have some testers, spray it on your skin, walk around. It's not that great doing directly off of skin like this, but getting random whiffs of it with the wearing experience, just smelling your sillage, kind of living in the sillage for the day, and then feedback from others, yeah, it's as advertised and as I'm saying. It's a great saltwater marine, fresh aquatic that just does the trick. It's got all the performance. This is an awesome fragrance. Like I said, until further notice, my opinion, this is still the ultimate version of Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. This is the Oh Intense flanker. Now, my choice from the House of Prada is on the sweeter side. It has a little bit of this caramel, thick, sweet tone. There's a soft floral aspect to it. It does have a little bit of an aquatic, oceanic feel. It is Prada Luna Rossa Ocean. This is much more of a sweeter blue fragrance, if anything, but I had to have something from Prada, and this one jumped out to me the most as probably the best blue of the group. Now, Prada L'Homme L'eau, that's another favorite of mine that I would consider more of a blue iris-based fragrance, but that's not as easy to find anymore, right? And this, I don't know, it's just something special about it. This is one of the better releases from 2021. I believe it came out, 2021. This was one of the top 10 designer releases of the year for me. Not quite the top 5. I thought it was a very, very good release. Not the best release of the year. And I know there's a lot of people that enjoy this one. And damn, if you're good with aquatic fragrances that have a sweetness to it, you're probably going to want to try this one. Doesn't smell exactly like every other blue fragrance. Some blue fragrances kind of have their own twist to kind of make their mark, as this smells like this, not like a bunch of other things. And Prada Luna Rossa Ocean, I would consider that to be one of the fragrances that kind of carved out its little space in the massive blue fragrance market. This is definitely worth trying. If you can find Prada fragrances anywhere where they have testers there, this is one of their newest releases. You will be able to spray this one on your skin and spend a little time with it. Don't judge it by a test strip. If not, get a carded sample. They come in those little pouches you can tear open. It's not that hard to get samples from department stores, or you can always purchase one online and experience this fragrance for yourself. It might be your next purchase because it is a pretty damn good sweet blue. It's Prada Luna Rossa Ocean. Sadly discontinued at this point, but you can still find them here and there for a decent price online. And it's still one of the best blue fragrances ever created, and it needed to be in this video. It's Bulgari's Acqua Atlantique Pour Homme. I have multiple bottles of this. This is my 50 ml. I have a backup gift set with a 100 ml and a little half-ounce travel size. This is amazing. This is, if Dylan Blue was extremely aquatic, where's it at? If this was extremely oceanic and aquatic, which it has a little bit, but this is Bulgari Acqua Pour Homme mixed with this. You get Acqua Atlantique. Monster performer, compliment magnet in my experience. This is so good. Salty, very, very, very blue. What do I mean by very blue? You know how I told you most people think oceanic, aquatic, mass appealing? That's every bit of this. I still smell it. It's been a little while since I've sprayed it. God, this is a good fragrance. If you can find this one online still for a decent price, and you've yet to get this one, now you can't test it anymore because it's been discontinued. I think the whole line's been discontinued. Shame on you, Bulgari. One of the best designer aquatic lines ever created. All of them were good. Anyways, I digress. This is definitely worth checking out. Is it blind buy safe? For most people, yes. If you like blue fragrances, dive right in because at this point it's going to have to be a blind buy. I would say it's not worth over retail in that $100+ price point, but if you can find it sub $100, it's still awesome. It's not cheap like it used to be. I get it, but you have to make that decision for yourself. But this is a modern blue fragrance aquatic classic. Citruses, oceanic, very musky, and just smelled awesome. God, this is such a charismatic fragrance. So easy to enjoy. It's Bulgari's Acqua Atlantique. Did you really think we would go through 25 blue fragrances and not have a version of Sauvage? In my opinion, the most well-rounded of all of them is the Eau de Parfum. Why not the Eau de Toilette, Ross? Well, I like spicy fragrances, and this is much more spicy than the Eau de Toilette. Yes, the Eau de Toilette's definitely still the most popular. Elixir has gotten all kinds of fame in the community. My personal favorite's the Parfum. I like all of them, to be honest with you. They're all good. I have all but the Cool Spray. But there's just something special about the spicy, peppery tone of Sauvage Eau de Parfum for me. I only need 4 sprays, which is a lot for me. Sometimes I do 3 sprays. This one performs really well for me. It's a 2 or 3 year old bottle at this point. It's not so, because I know somebody's going to ask about batch codes. I don't play the batch code game. Just try on your skin. This is one that's easy to sample. Go to a department store that sells fragrances. They'll probably have this. This is wildly popular and highly sold. It's everywhere. It's easy to find to test on your skin. If you like spicy fragrances, this will probably be the version for you. The Elixir is very expensive. It is spicier than this, but you get a lot of freshness here. You still get that fresh bergamot heavy shower gel and Broxen tone that the Eau de Toilette is known for, with a little bit of enhanced sweetness and much more peppery spice than the original. This is some good stuff right here. I don't care what anybody says. Dior Sauvage Eau de Parfum. One of my favorite cheap fragrance pickups from last year. This is Chanel L'Homme Sport on a budget. It's not 1-to-1, but boy, you sure will think of Chanel L'Homme Sport and a little bit of Versace Pour Homme. This is Missoni's Wave. Big, big, big fan of this fragrance. I love this. Beautiful citrus, aquatic, creamy floral orchid, this vanilla orchid note. Sweet. It's a little soapy, very, very aromatic. Like I said, has an oceanic tone to it as well. God, this smells so good. You can find these for a great price. Some rack stores, they'll have them for $60. That's too much. Don't do that. You can get it cheaper online. But some of the TJ Maxx's and Marshalls that have it are selling them for $32, which is what I paid for with this. You can get it for $32. That's a steal. If you can get it sub 50, I think it's a great pickup at that point. Slightly above average in longevity, 6-7 hours on my skin. Not some super strong beast. Projection is on the slight, average to slightly better area for about an hour and a half. Then it gets, kind of average CIs where it's, on the moderate to mild side. Light whiffs throughout the remainder of the life of the fragrance on your skin. Easy compliment magnet right here. Wife's a big fan of this one. I'm a humongous fan of this one. I love smelling myself with this one. Such a great wearing experience. If you're a fan of Chanel L'Homme Sport and you don't want to spend that kind of money, this is a great affordable alternative to it. Again, like I said, not 1-to-1, definitely not the same quality, but for sub $50 and in most cases sub $40, this is hard to beat. This is one of the better light blue fragrances out there, in my personal opinion. Again, that's Missoni's Wave. Next, this is a hype beast in its own right. It's come back down to earth with the prices, thank God. I'll have links to a few different places for this one. I picked this one up on Amazon. You can get it for an even better price from perfumeonline.ca last I checked. This is Rasasi Hawas. So why did I not put Invictus Aqua in this video? Some of you are probably wondering, because that is my favorite fragrance, Invictus Aqua 2018. Well, I think, to be honest with you, I would prefer recommending this to you guys because A, it's more affordable. B, it performs a lot better, and I know that's extremely important to a lot of you guys. And it doesn't smell exactly like Invictus Aqua. It smells more like the original Invictus with some spices to me personally, but I know everybody likes to compare it to Invictus Aqua. That's why I'm making this noteworthy for that, because it does have that sweet aquatic tone with some cinnamon, and I believe a little bit of cardamoms in here as well. It even has a little bit of a smoky Middle Eastern kind of vibe on my skin, though there's no smoky or incensey type of note, no guaiac wood or anything like that, but beast. I never do more than 4 sprays. People are going to ask about batch codes and different color juices and all that stuff. Don't worry about that stuff. If you're interested in it, grab it, spray it on your skin, enjoy it. There's no guarantees about compliments, but in my experience, again, magnet for it. This is so strong on my skin too. I used to do 5 sprays when I first got it. I had to dial it back to 4 sprays because the sillage is immense. You will go nose blind to this one. But most people seem to really enjoy this one. The hype is real on this particular fragrance, in my opinion. One of the best blues out there, Rasasi Hawas. Number 25, we made it through last and most certainly not least. We had to have a version of Chrome, right? And for me, this is the ultimate version of Chrome. No, I have not tried the Parfum yet. Yes, I've tried the Eau de Parfum. From what I hear, the Parfum is more green than it is blue. Might be really good. But we're talking about Chrome Extreme. This is Azzaro Chrome meets Acqua di Gio Profondo. Where is it at? Here we go. It smells a little bit like this, mixed with Azzaro Chrome. It still has that sharp metallic shower gel DNA, just intensified, the extreme version. Appropriately named, tongue twister for some reason, appropriately named flanker. It's definitely the extreme version of Chrome. This is really good. It's my favorite version of Chrome until they put out one that smells better to me. Aqua being my second favorite. I really like Chrome Pure and Sport. It's a great line. It really is if you like fresh aquatic fragrances, shower gel, metallic, stuff like that. If you like those types of scent profiles, there's something in the Chrome line for you. And for me, the ultimate is this one. This is an 8 to 10 hour longevity fragrance. It is loud for the first 2 hours. If you're looking to grab attention from people, this is one of those fragrances that will do it. Performance is very strong in this one, and it's very affordable. Sub $50 price point in most places online will get you a bottle at minimum of 50 ml, but in a lot of cases, a 100 ml like this of Azzaro's Chrome Extreme. It's fantastic. It was a great way to put a button, a cherry on top for this top 25, the ultimate blue fragrance guide. Last but absolutely most certainly not least, the ultimate version of Chrome in my opinion, Azzaro Chrome Extreme. Well, I know that was a long video. Thank you to everybody that made it all the way through. And until next time, do me a real quick favor, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. So I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. What of these 25 is your favorite? What of these 25 sparked your interest and you haven't tried? And maybe you're like, you know what? I need to go get out and get my nose on that one. Again, I'll have links to literally everything somewhere, somehow in the video description down below if you're interested in picking up anything. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of these 25 and give them a spray now, I'm pretty confident you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.